Texting. Hello, Mr. BBD. Welcome back to the Mid-Sack. It is a freestyle Friday. The highly questionable and arguably actually the redoubtable one on some high school field trip with his buddies, trying to relive his old glories. We wish well, Tom. Don't worry, the seat is covered.
It is definitely covered.
You remember this guy. We have the redoubtable one, the highly questionable one, and the shameless one. Pete Migliaccio, my brother from a very adjacent mother, my best friend in the world. Good to have you here, Migliaccio. He'll grow up one day.
We'll learn how to.
It's like gnocchi.
Pronunciation.
You know how there's a G in front of gnocchi? Yeah. Anyway.
Xiao.
Moving on. It's chow.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to pronounce it wrong, you dumb.
Anyway, welcome back. That's a private joke.
Dumb ski.
Anyway, you should talk. You can't even say our last name right. Anyway, welcome back to IDD. For those who know, I don't disagree. It's a freestyle Friday here. I'm glad he's here. He's down. Mia's birthday. Actually, technically, it was Thursday, but we're having the big party tomorrow. And the Godfather, the Don is in town for his goddaughter, and I'm sure he's going to spend a lot of useless money on it tomorrow. But that's another story. Useless. Wasted on her. Don't.
Totally wasted.
She gets more shit than she deserves. Anyway, this is segment 1, IDD on a Freestyle Friday. And freestyle, this literally just hit us off the air. And again, the compliment, the assist, the bomb that hasn't landed yet, Big Pipey. Guess where he is tonight, boys and girls? Okay, because you know he's in the house somewhere. So we were going to start off segment 1, WNBA. He's been falling asleep since Caitlin left. I get it.
No, actually, I haven't. But, I enjoy the humor of that.
But she wins Rookie of the Year in a, what would you call that? 66-1. What would you call that?
I'm going to be completely honest with you.
It's beyond.
And you know, because you did too. We both did. We both coached boys and girls basketball, high school and AAU.
Yeah.
So I know what girls basketball is like compared to guys. You and I both know the
nuances
nuances
and
the differences in how they play. It's completely different. Mm-hmm. So when I watched Caitlin Clark, when I heard about her, because I'm being honest, I don't watch the WNBA. Mm-hmm. At least I didn't until this year. Yep. When I saw this girl play, and I've seen a lot of talented girls play, I haven't seen anything like it. I just have seen nothing.
There's never
like
been
her.
anything like her.
She plays like Steph Curry. Yep. She shoots from unfathomable distances, which I know by today's standards are not unfathomable anymore. I get that. I know that today's NBA and the league has changed. I get
it's become a long distance shootout.
It is. They chuck threes.
They just chuck them like it's going.
The amount of threes you have to understand. RJ and I come from the generation we come from. If you took this many threes back when we played, if you took even one of these threes unconstitutional,
and it wasn't the end
you'd
of
be benched and never played.
It wasn't the end of the quarter or the half of the game. You had no choice. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different game.
They just come down and pull it. And
now,
look, they can hit it, but
now that being said, I heard she could shoot. So what I expected to see was just this girl that could shoot. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't see just a girl who could shoot. She shoots phenomenally. She is the female version of Steph Curry. She is. She's that good at it. Yep. But that's not what blew me away. What blew me away is the way this girl plays. This girl plays, she looks like a modern-day Bob Cousy. She passes the ball around like it's nobody's business. The difference is, though, she uses both hands. She's not. I know Bob Cousy, it looked like he was only dribbling around with one hand because he only needed one hand to dribble around everyone in the league at the time.
But he could dribble with his left hand.
But
I've seen him do it.
But this girl is a playmaker. She makes unbelievable passes. And what I laugh about to the untrained or the
uneducated,
the uninitiated, uneducated.
Yeah, you didn't play college basketball.
Yeah, you didn't play basketball.
You got to play college.
You're going to try to blame her turnovers on them hitting them in the hands, and they just drop and go out of bounds, and they give Caitlin Clark that turnover. Yeah. That's kind of dumb. Mm-hmm. I could see if. When I've heard the anti-Caitlin Clark people say she has all these turnovers, I could see if she was getting her pocket picked every time or throwing the ball out of bounds. These are passes that should be baskets that these people are dropping. That's what's happening. She's hitting people for wide open layups or cross-court, great bounce passes, threading the needle, hit them right in the hands, and they're going through them. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she doesn't. She's not perfect. She has turnovers of her own, obviously. But more times than not, it's a great pass that wasn't handled correctly. At least from what I've seen.
To his point, and Tom and I did address this on an earlier show, because we talked about the turnover thing with Caitlin, and we looked up the top 10 all-time NBA turnover leaders, and every one of them is a Hall of Famer.
Yep. If you handle the ball a lot, you're going to have turnovers.
John Stockton is in that list. You ever see John Stockton? LeBron is in that list. Karl Malone. These are all first ballot. And so don't. And by the way, the reason I said she has the ball 90% of the time.
And also
90% of the time the ball's in her hands.
She broke the assist record.
As a rook, no.
The whole
Period.
league.
The whole league.
Didn't she break the rookie scoring record too? The rookie scoring record.
She broke the record for most assists in a season by
anybody. But she broke the rookie scoring record as well. I know that.
She did.
The team turned it around and made the playoffs.
The year before they were. This is the thing. Angel Reese went to a playoff team. They missed.
Yeah.
She goes to a team that was with the third worst record in the league, and they get in their first year.
And by the way, like I said, I watched them. I did watch them. Mm-hmm. With what they have around her, with Aaliyah Boston up front, and that girl Mitchell on the wing, is that her name, Mitchell?
Yeah, Mitchell.
They're going to be good.
They are.
They play the game the right way.
With her.
They do.
With her, they do.
And also, because the other girl, this is what when I was saying the nuance between men's and women's basketball that you and I know about, they're going to play team ball.
Yep.
They just are. Women play team ball. They play a better version of team ball than men usually do.
Yep.
Men usually you get more of the ego-driven.
Yep. They don't have that like men do. Women have an ego, but it's not like us.
No, they will play more of a team game.
They will.
They just do.
They would rather share. And that's not a bad thing.
I'm not saying men don't.
It's not
a bad thing. But when you talk about guys, like our egos are off the hook when it comes to this stuff.
They are, and women know it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, no. To his point, the turnovers. And again, doesn't mean she doesn't have a couple of bonehead ones. She's a rookie, and by the way, every single team, the defense was designed to stop her as a rookie. Okay. When we talk about the annals of the game, Michael Jordan, Magic, Bird, LeBron, these are the guys that from the day they stepped on the floor, the opponent was the first objective was stop that dude. From the first moment, these guys, that's where she is. That's where she is as a girl. And she handled that, and you heard her press conferences. This girl doesn't sound like a rookie at all.
No, she handled it
sounds like a 10. She handled it better than former girls, Hall of Fame women that can't handle the fact this kid's that good.
She handles it better now as a rookie than Kevin Durant does now when he's 38. He still doesn't handle the negative press well.
Still the petulant child who can't take the criticism.
And I'm not trying to call out just Durant. There's a million male athletes that are like that.
This whole generation is like that.
It's bad.
We weren't always like our generation was not like this. No, there were guys, but there wasn't like this.
And once again,
it's the norm.
And look at it this way. Look at it this way. It isn't a black-white thing. It's not. Perfect example. No. I look at Drew Holiday when he talks. He never says anything. Derek White never says anything wrong.
Tim Duncan.
Jason Tatum never says anything wrong.
Tim
Duncan never says anything wrong. It's got nothing to do with that.
No.
And I don't mind a little. I love it if you have some attitude, actually.
No. But
as long as you back it up.
You better damn well be able to back it up.
I had no problem with anyone strutting their stuff. If you strut it and you can walk it, like what Dion used to do. Dion used to yap and talk, but he backed it up. Mm-hmm. That's why everyone loved him. Yeah. If you talk and you can back it up, no one will ever give you shit. I mean, it's only when you talk and then you eat it.
As great as Larry Bird, as where I put him, and I put him fourth in my all-time greatest players list behind Russell.
But he's cold-blooded.
But you hear the stories.
Yeah, he's a cold-blooded.
And the older he gets, the more these stories are coming out. You should hear Gary Payton talk about him. You should hear Alden Polynice and John Sally tells the story like, Sal, you sure you don't want a double team, bro? And he goes, no, man, I got you. He's like, and he gets the boy fades, and then as he's going up, he tells me, Sal, you better call for a double team, bro. And he hits it anyway right in his face. Sally's telling this story going, Larry Bird would put the fear of God in me and everybody else in the league.
And the thing is, it's not just, once again, to make sure people are clear and concise on this, nothing to do with race or color. Michael Jordan, same exact thing.
Yep.
Perfect example. Michael Jordan puts the fear of God when you walk on the court. You're afraid of Michael Jordan.
Yep.
People aren't afraid of LeBron James. They feared Michael Jordan.
They feared
There's
Bird.
a big difference.
They feared Magic.
They feared Kobe.
They feared Kobe.
They feared Larry.
They feared Shaq.
They did.
They feared Duncan.
Everybody feared Kareem.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy with this stupid sky.
That is still the most unstoppable shot in history.
Are you kidding me?
There's nobody today that could stop that shot.
No.
There's nobody.
No. And there are guys today that people fear. I'll give you a perfect example. A guy who isn't a great athlete, but is just a great basketball player. Luka Doncic. Yeah. He is not a great athlete for the NBA standards. He's not.
He proves my point.
But he is a great player.
Him and Jokic in Denver's the other one.
Yeah.
Those two prove my point that Larry Bird would rip this era a new one. Because if you put those two together, you'd have Larry Bird.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from Nikola Jokic by saying that I don't think he's as good as an Olajuwon or Ewing or Robinson, because it's not fair. He doesn't play against anybody like that.
He never played against
There's nobody like that in today's league. Nobody plays low post to the back basketball.
There's nobody like those three in this league.
And if there are, they don't play like that anymore, period. They just don't.
There is no David Robinson on the wing.
Look at this way. If there was anyone with low post, would we even know? They don't even try to throw it in the post.
There are about 4 guys that play in the post.
And what happens when they get it? They score
well.
Every time. They score well.
They either score or they get a wide open assist because they don't know how to defend it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, but that was a dimension of the game that's gotten lost that we missed because that was part of a 3-level basketball. And again, the reason Bird and Jordan are 24 points a game and up for their careers because they were 3-level scorers. A 3-level scorer, for those who don't know, is a guy who can hit the outside shot, take you off the dribble, and post you up. That is a 3-level scorer. Yeah. Bird was the quintessential 3-level scorer, and then Jordan added it to his game, and he was like that.
And Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, both of them, to one level or another, were good even at things people considered them bad at.
Yeah.
Larry Bird, people say he's slow and all this. He's a 3-time defensive
team player.
All defensive team. At 6'10", no athletic ability at all, supposedly.
He averaged 2 steals a game.
And he is a 3-time second team all defense.
He couldn't jump. He played with 2 Hall of Fame big men, and he averaged 10 rebounds a game for his career. LeBron James has never in a season, in small ball, averaged 10 rebounds a game in small ball. And he's the second or third biggest guy on the court every night, and he can't average 10 rebounds a game. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, no.
Because that's part of defense. And that's one of the reasons why Bird made all defensive team 3 times, because he was a great defensive rebounder, on top of the fact that he also averaged 2 steals a game because he's the greatest help side defender I've ever seen. Him and Jordan.
And once again, it's not fair to compare today's guys to those guys. Just like it isn't fair for you guys to try to say those guys from back then aren't as good when you haven't even seen them play.
I tell you, you watch Luka Doncic and Jokic play, and you put them together, and you'd have Larry Bird, and there isn't anyone that would disagree with me on that that's seen all 3 of them play.
And the reason
Luka is a smaller, slower version of Larry, and Jokic is a smaller, bigger version of Larry.
But you agree with me as well. Luka is one of the most unstoppable players in the league.
He averaged 33 points a game last year. Now, let's be fair here. This league doesn't play defense anymore.
I get it, but my point is, though, he's still scoring it.
I'm saying this is why people say Bird and Jordan would average 40 a game.
They might average 50.
They would, because they did that against legitimate defense. This is not legitimate defense.
No,
if Larry Bird played in this area and you couldn't... Reggie Miller actually said it. He goes, if Larry played in this area and you couldn't touch him,
also,
are you kidding me? You couldn't touch him?
What would a guy like
or Jordan?
What would a guy like Moses Malone or Shaq do today?
Daryl Dawkins.
What would Shaq do today?
Remember Chocolate Thunder?
Yeah, they'd break the freaking
He'd
ribs.
break people in half.
And that's just it. They talk about like that these guys haven't played against guys that were good athletes.
Do you know what Akeem Olajuwon or Shaquille O'Neal would do to win Biana?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what those two would do to him?
I know.
He'd never play basketball again. They'd make him quit.
Also, they make it. This is the other thing.
So would Moses Malone.
When you and me heard them talking about, like, was it JJ Redick was like, yeah, you played against plumbers and bus drivers. I thought he was talking about like the 50s and 60s guys. I didn't think he was talking about guys in the 80s and 90s.
He tries.
Like
to
that was the biggest, the stupidest thing I've ever
JJ
heard
Redick
in my life.
There's no way he's a Duke graduate.
No, that might
no
be
Duke. No Duke alum is this dumb. No way. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe he got there on somebody's grades of basketball and they just coasted him.
He is aware the movie movie Blue Chips came out in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Those were that was Shaquille O'Neal, and Larry Bird was still playing when that movie came out. Yep. So what are we talking about here? There were plumbers playing.
They were not plumbers. David Robinson is no plumber.
No, nobody in the
I've never seen a plumber like David
salary in the NBA was back then on the bench.
I've never
$600,000.
I've never seen a specimen like David Robinson is 7'1" and looks like a Greek statue.
And he fits in a submarine.
And he was left-handed. He could move. He scored 71 points in a game.
I think he can fit a submarine too.
Yeah. He was in the Navy. This motherfucker is. We're talking about one bad motherfucker. That would be Dave the Admiral.
What are you doing with a 7'1" guy in the Navy?
He would make Jokic pee down his leg.
What's he doing?
Do you know how many times he would dunk on Jokic? Every fucking time he got the ball, he'd go right by. Like,
you remember the game he had 70 to win the scoring?
Oh, Shaq. Yeah, he beat Shaq. He won the league. Oh, my God. You don't even understand the depths of this. But the point is this. We were talking about Caitlin Clark and Rookie of the Year and how she's a generational talent, and she is. And the thing is, she came in as a shooter, and the thing is, her senior year, she averaged 10 assists a game.
I know. She's a great
passer. And again, that was a B-level talent that
she is a phenomenal passer.
She is literally the Tom Brady. She has done more with less. She goes to the third worst team in the league. They make the fucking playoffs. You take her off that fucking Iowa squad, they don't make the tournament.
And by the way, she played D.
Yeah, she played D.
She plays D. She's not small. Mm-hmm. And by the way, she goes to the basket. She goes to the basket and scores on people.
Here's the stat. I want to watch this. He didn't see this episode, but he's gonna like this one. When everybody was coming around, all our critics, so all year long, people were bashing Caitlin Clark. Oh, she's not as good as you say she is. It's all about her media, her market, but it's not really that she's that good of a player when she... Here's the stat for you. At the end of this season, actually it was true all season long because I kept bringing it up on multiple episodes. There were 2 players in the WNBA who, from the season all the way through now, it didn't happen at the end, to the end, finished in the top 20 in 6 categories. Asia Wilson, who won League MVP, and Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Are you effing as a rookie?
Yeah, I know.
The top 20, and by the way, 2 of those categories were blocks and steals. She's a guard.
Yeah, I know.
She's a guard. Okay, blocks, rebounds. She was in the top 20 in rebounds.
I think
guard.
I think anybody who's actually seen her play and not just a stupid. Because I get why people get mad. There are Yahoo fans out there who only watch Denise White. I get it. And they don't know anything about basketball.
Yeah, they're
I know
idiots.
that's the bulk of them. I get it.
They're idiots. Those are idiots. But for purists like he and I,
when I saw
the game,
when I saw her play, I'm like, this
knew right away.
Rookie of the Year thing,
Yeah,
it's
over. It was over.
It was over when I saw her play.
Yeah, it was over. Angel Reese doesn't have 1/10 of the skill set this girl.
And I like Angel Reese. Yep. I do.
She had look at. I'll say it before I'll say it again. Take her mouth out of it and her attitude. But she had a hell of a first year.
I don't even mind her mouth and her attitude.
Yeah,
just drop the.
She is so jealous of this girl.
Rookie of the Year thing.
She's so jealous of this girl. It's disgusting. It's done. She can't even hide it.
Well, I think
it's disgusting.
I think the whole league.
Wow.
I think the whole league hates it because
come
of what
to
the
watch
media
me
did to
too.
Exactly. They want
the media
does what the media does.
But they were also driven by the fans who wanted to see her play.
I know. It's the same as Kansas City fans getting mad that girls are now Kansas City fans because of Taylor Swift. Yeah. You should be happy that Taylor Swift is bringing that much attention to your team. You have more fans now because of Taylor Swift.
You do. You got about 3 billion.
I know. That don't even like football.
Aren't even living in America.
Probably not. Probably not.
Hey, Taylor likes to cheat.
Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, I'd like to have her as one of my fans. Shit. God. She'll triple your business. What am I saying? Triple. She'll quintuple your business overnight.
She's a billionaire.
Yeah.
At 33.
I mean, look at the influence she's having on the election.
Yeah. So
my God. You kidding me?
I love it.
She's crazy.
Sincerely, a motherless cat lady. Oh, what a dumbass thing, J.D. Vance. He was the one who started that stupid thing with the goddamn, they're eating the pets. Idiots.
Oh,
he started it, and Trump goes, yeah, they're eating the pets. Oh, wow, Don. Take some meds and go to sleep for a
But anyway, back to
Caitlin Clark. Anyway.
Back to Caitlin Clark. And like I said, this is the thing that's kind of funny. Because this part was, I guarantee you, was race motivated or just to be a shit stirrer or a troll. And I know something about trolling. I know a little bit about it.
They don't call him the shameless one for nothing. Folks.
Whoever decided to not vote, the one vote, that was definitely done to be a troll. Because there's no way 66 out of 67 vote, that one person.
You know what sucks?
I just don't see it.
You know what really sucks about this? This has historically great staying power. This is going to be along the lines of who killed JFK? Who was the one person that voted for it?
You know why? The other reason, it's not just because
this person will never admit it.
There's been 4 other unanimous votes, and none of those 4 had a better year than this kid did this year. Caitlin Clark. They didn't.
None of them. This is the ultimate FU to Caitlin Clark. It's not going to be unanimous.
Well, no, the Olympics is pretty good.
And by the way, it's going to be Angel Reese.
Actually, it wasn't the biggest slap in the face. The biggest slap in the face, which actually turned out to be a slap right back at you, was not putting her on the Olympic team and then scrimmaging the WA
and losing to that team.
Losing to her.
And she has 10 assists in the game.
And she has 10 assists in the game. That was really smart because the Olympic team only lost 1 game the whole damn time, and it was to them.
And we were saying, and the other girl who dropped 36 points, she knew what they were about. She wouldn't go with them last time, and they asked her again. She said no twice because she knows what they're all about.
Look this way.
She knows what they're all about. They asked her twice, and she was the MVP 4 years ago. And they also
even Grant Hill and Steve Kerr weren't dumb enough to go try to challenge an NBA All-Star team with Jaylen Brown on it.
No.
Because that
would be monumentally
stupid. What's going to do, drop 50 on him?
Yeah.
That's what would have happened.
Monumentally stupid. But the thing is, Caitlin Clark is a basketball player. She's not a shooter. She's not a passer. She is a ball player.
She's going to be an evolutionary player.
Yeah.
That league.
She already is.
I know everyone's already saying it. And
she finished 4th in MVP voting.
I will say it to the petty people out there. She is saving the league.
Yeah.
The WNBA. You should be thanking her.
Look no further than when she exited the playoffs. The ratings when she was playing, when everybody knew she was out of it. Go look at the TV.
And I understand
and tell either one of us we're off a rocker. You don't even get it. You don't even get it. And Molly Karam, shame on you. I blasted you once, and I love Molly. But for her, it's because she's a and I love Paige Becker. She's my personal favorite. But this girl's a UConn alum, and God, she can't handle the fact that they're talking about someone other than a UConn player like this, and she lived up to it. And by the way, she knocked Paige Beckers out in the Final Four. So she can't. Molly Karam holds a torch. I can't stand it. And I'm like, they didn't.
The one swoops us?
It wasn't about her marketability. She was one of the 10 best players in the world. She is.
Yeah.
She's right now. She's one of the top 5. She was then. She was leading the league in assists then. Okay. She was shooting then. She was leading her like 10th or 9th in scoring then.
And by the way,
you tell me she wasn't good enough? Bullshit, Molly.
I'm sorry. Look,
you're a jealous butthurt UConn alum.
Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, above all, you're a capitalist. What are you doing from a money point of view? Not sending Caitlin Clark to the Olympics. She's the biggest draw in WNBA history, and you don't send her to the Olympic Games?
Here's how dumb women are. Think about the Hall of Fame caliber male athletes that came out saying, "What the hell are you doing?"
All of them did.
All of them. Every damn one of them was like, "Are you nuts?"
Charles Barkley flat out said, he's like,
Shannon Sharp, LeBron James, Larry, all of them were like, "What are you thinking?
What are you
How
doing?
can you watch a tape and not figure out before the All-Star game that she wasn't one of the 10 best players in the league already?" She was before the All-Star game. Her and A'ja Wilson were the only 2 players in the top 20 in 6 categories. That was before the All-Star game. She was already one of the top 5 players in the world. I'm like, who is not looking at it? You know, they have statisticians to study this shit.
Dude, by mid-season, she was in the MVP race.
Where was the statistician to come on ESPN and go, "What the hell are you doing?" There are 2 players in the world right now that are in the top 20 and 6 in categories in the best league in the world. A'ja Wilson, who everybody says is the best player in the world, and Caitlin Clark. Yeah. How can you look at that stat and tell me that she didn't belong on that team?
Well, don't forget.
No one else on that roster was doing this.
The only argument they have for that, don't forget, those stats came after. The WNBA season.
No, but before the All-Star break, before the team was, when they were in the top, the 2 of them from day 1 of the season, it was her and her.
No, I know that.
And no one talked about it all season long.
Oh, I know.
And the thing is, forget the marketability thing for a second, because that's the obvious part. But when Molly Cameron, these Monica McNutt, these other donkeys who are so pissed off because their sisters and their friends are in that league now, and they didn't get noticed, no one knew who they were until Caitlin Clark showed up. They're like, "Well, she was just as good as her." I'm like, "No, she wasn't." You know why? Because none of them broke the all-time scoring record that was held by Pete Maravich. She did. None of them were as good as her in college. None of them. You know why? If they were, they would have done that. She took back-to-back B-level squads to the national championship. None of them did that. They were on loaded squads, all of them. I can, you name it, I can prove it. Every day. Also, to sit there and say that crap is talk about it's negligence. It's honestly, your job is to give accurate information. That is garbage.
Also, for the not too bright WNBA finance committee, whoever you may be, have you seen what the Hawk Tour girls made for money? Just by social media and all that, you know the money you passed up on by not putting Caitlin Clark in the Olympics. Did you fail? And marketing 101.
And this is
how does that happen?
And this is where Diana Taurasi will bear the brunt of this from me, and I will throw this over her every time someone brings her name up in the GOAT conversation. Here's why she's not the GOAT. Exhibit A. Part of being the GOAT is you further the league, you advance the league. Diana Taurasi needed another gold medal, like I need another hair up my nose. Are you kidding me? No. Okay?
She was 42.
She was 42, didn't belong on that team, played like dog shit, by the way, proving my point. Do you know what she could have done? Since she was the one that started all this crap, if we're being honest, back a year going, "Oh, well, reality's coming. Wait till she gets in the league and plays against women." And then she lit the women up, including her. They swept the Phoenix this year. You know what she could have done? And I said this on the show, but I wanted him to hear it. Diana Taurasi could have cemented her legacy and probably would have never bought another meal or a drink anywhere on this planet if she had done this. If she had given her spot to her and said, "You know what? I've got mine. She's deserving. Put her on it."
Yeah.
She would have. Do you know what that would have done for her? They would have sang songs about her at campfires all around the world for that. Okay? She would have cemented her. They said, "You know what? That's kind of..." And the fact that she started this crap, and then, "You know what? I'm going to give it to her. She's earned it." Do you know what that would have done for Taurasi's legacy? And no, she's too paid. I have to go get my 6th gold medal. Yeah, you were awful. You were you were an embarrassment being out there. And everybody's like, "She should retire." Yeah, no fucking shit. Okay?
And the sad part is, too...
Petty.
The Olympics... That's the gold medal just belongs to the women. Why do they even play the game?
They've won 9 in a row.
They don't lose that game.
They've won 9 in a row.
9
gold medals.
All the Olympics for the women is the basketball team is for advertising. That's all it is, because they're gonna win the gold. Mm-hmm. That's the reason they got rid of softball from the Olympics. The U.S. women never lose. Mm-hmm. They don't. The basketball is the same way. Yeah. It's the same way. And the only travesty to basketball in this country has been the men in the Olympics. That's been the travesty. Because once we showed the world we were the best by far with the 92 Dream Team, it's been a nightmare ever since. Yeah. It's gone downhill.
They destroyed it.
Because they've destroyed the way we play the game. And they also destroy what makes us dominant. They turned the league European.
They made it a European league.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Celtics still won the championship this year.
But why? You know what's funny? You know why the Celtics won it? Because they're not only the better players, they're complete players. They're athletic and good players. They're not just good players.
Other than Porzingis, they're all American.
Yeah.
And they went 12-1 without the play when he went down.
And by the way, let's face it. Other than poor Kristaps going down, we stayed healthy, and that's a big part of why you win and don't win championships.
Sure.
Whenever you think about the Celtics losing in the Bird era, either Mikhail had a foot injury, Bird's backs or Bone Spurs started
Parrish, Walton.
There was always something where somebody fell down. You can't have that somebody fall down when you're playing against a Laker team that's that stacked. Mm-hmm. And that was just the reality.
Yeah, the Lakers stayed remarkably healthy. Well, of course, they played in the weaker conference. The Celtics had Philly and New York and Detroit and Milwaukee. The East was the East. They were the beasts.
Well, you know what's funny? That West Conference was bad. But was it as bad as the East that the Cavaliers beat?
No.
To get there with LeBron James' loaded team?
After the Celtics traded away and Allen left, that was it. There was no one in his way.
The only team that was in his way was the rookie, then the young Celtics. Yeah. We were the only team that would even get close to him.
Yeah. That was the weakest era of basketball.
And he had a loaded team.
Yeah, I mean, the Eastern Conference from 2010 to 2020, that 10-year stretch, not either conference that weak in my lifetime.
No, it was bad.
It was bad. It was bad, and LeBron took full advantage of it. But he never won. He lost 6 times.
Yeah, that's the part
that's embarrassing.
They want to say how many times he's gotten there in a row. I'm sorry, this already happened in the 60s. The Celtics did it a bunch. Yeah. The Lakers even did it a bunch. They just kept losing.
The Lakers went 9 times in the 80s, and they lost 4 times. They lost to the Celtics. They lost to Detroit. They lost to Philly.
How many times did they lose in the 60s? They played in a bunch of those.
But
how many did they get to, actually?
6.
Yeah, they went a bunch, right?
Russell.
Actually, isn't Elgin Baylor like 1-9 in the finals?
No, West is 1-9.
One
West.
All right, so he's played 10 finals.
And as a consolation prize, they made him the logo when the logo should have been Bill Russell all along.
Yeah, well,
that's just embarrassing.
We know what world we were living back then. And why things went the way they did.
It's terrible. I mean, honestly, that's another embarrassing black eye on the league that no one talks about. Bill Russell should have been the logo from day one. This guy. Oh, do you know that logo was 1-9 in the finals? That's a logo. Give me a fucking break. It's not a logo. It's a loser. Loser.
The only. Let's face it. The only
Jerry the loser.
The only modern day logo that makes any sense is the Jumpman Jr. Anyway. The weekend. Or otherwise, don't change it. Leave it Jerry West.
I could have seen Russell.
I could have too. But what's up? I'm just saying, like. The NBA logo, we know it's Jerry West.
Probably been Russell blocking a shot.
Yeah, but like, the picture we'd have to know. Like the only one that I could say that is a recognizable thing would be Kareem Skyhook.
That would be a good one.
Jumpman.
Kareem Skyhook would be good.
That would be good. Cool. I think that would be a good one.
That. Yeah.
I think Bird's jumper would be a sweet
Bird's fadeaway would be cool. Yeah, that would look cool.
There's a couple of things.
You could have Bird stepping back on the one leg because he.
You could even have Magic doing a behind the back pass.
Yeah, or Magic like this with the button.
Doing a look one way. You could do a few cool things.
Yeah, you could. Every one of these guys has a logo. Dr. J had a logo.
You could do a Dr. J slam as the dunk. I mean,
he had some logos.
You could do a nice Dr. J one, with the ball up with his with a big throw.
Dude, he still has the greatest move in NBA history against the Lakers when he goes that up and under. That's
also
not
his dunk. The one where he just cradles it
Cooper,
right by Cooper.
Who was like a high jumper and was 6'8".
He went, dude, I don't know what Cooper was like.
Cooper dunked.
I can't do nothing.
Fuck that.
He was like, fuck this.
No, even Matt was back there going, oh, shit.
No one wanted part of that.
That was Dr. J. And that's why he's number 7. He's in my top 10. And if you don't know who Dr. J is, you don't know basketball. So I don't want to hear you.
Dr. J, you remember this? Well,
Michael Jordan's hero.
I know you remember this because you were basically a year and a half apart in age. Mm-hmm. I remember the first dunk hoop I had. I was about 4 years old. It was a Dr. J plastic pull-down hoop. Mm-hmm. I was about, 2 feet tall? Something like that? Maybe a foot and a half?
Circus midget.
Yeah, circus midget, basically. He was already like a full-size man at 4, he wasn't even allowed to dunk on it because he was too tall.
I would break it. I was White Shaq.
Yeah, at 4. He wasn't allowed to dunk on it anymore.
I was little White Shaq.
So that was my first one. That was my first, also my first pair of basketball sneakers were white with red.
Converse.
Dr. J All-Stars. Yep. My first pair of Converse.
Also, yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know Dr. J is, you don't know basketball. You just don't know.
Dr. J, you know what's funny? Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal's favorite player?
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Yeah.
Both of them. They both said they grew up wanting to be like Dr. J.
They wanted to be Dr. J. Those are 2 of the top 15 because I think I have Shaq at 13 all time. But the thing is, that was Dr. J back in the 70s and 80s. There aren't guys today that can do what he did.
No, but he was. You see how high he jumped?
And when Anthony Edwards says that Michael Jordan was the only one who had no skill. Like, really? Have you ever heard of Magic Johnson? You ever watched him? Or Larry Bird?
Anthony Edwards is like 22 years old, and he's got the IQ of a 4-year-old.
Of a carrot. He's a fucking idiot.
Less than a carrot.
He's a carrot. And Magic's response was perfect. He was like, do you think he consulted his dad or his grandfather? No, number 1. He's like, number 2, if you're going to talk, win something first. Yeah. like you haven't won anything. He's like, you shut the hell up. You haven't won anything. I was a 2-time champion when I was your age. You haven't won shit. Shut up.
He's right. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on the generation, whatever, but
they're easy to pick on.
Some of you guys just start talking.
They do it to they do it to themselves.
Whatever the latest and greatest thing, saying it's the best of all time. Like, why do we have so many GOAT conversations?
You listen to
everything's a GOAT conversation.
John Morant.
Everybody who comes automatically the GOAT.
John Morant thinks he could shut down MJ. Are you on crack?
I was gonna say he doesn't even get out of the second round of the playoffs.
MJ at 6'6" at 28 years old is unstoppable.
He's literally video games.
In any era, he is unstoppable. Just like Bird and Magic, in any era, they're both unstoppable.
And by the way, those eras were the worst because they fucking hit you back then.
Yeah,
these
guys were competing against each other in the same time frame. If
they
were alone in another decade, no one would touch them.
All three of them have come out and said, like, I would never want to play with them unless it was like for an Olympic team. It's like that's the only time we ever get to play together.
Yeah, they wanted to beat each other.
It was a one-time thing for the Olympics for the glory of the country. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
But if they were NBA, they were trying to beat each other.
They're trying to kill each other. That's why the league was so much better. Now
look at this way.
Jump teams. Let's join my friend.
If the first time Larry lost to Magic, he just said, "I'm going to go Lakers."
Go Lakers.
We wouldn't have an NBA now.
Yeah, or if Jordan joined Detroit, or if
just said, "Fuck the Bulls." Sorry, I'm out of here.
Seriously, I mean, so this is what you people don't get. The competitive level has gone like that.
You know what? I like about the Celtics right now. Well,
they don't talk.
It stays that way. They are actually with all the heat they took, and this guy being one of them. A lot of heat they took up in here until they finally won it. But
they should have won 3 already.
But they
were good enough.
They are actually on schedule.
They were good enough. They should have at least 2 by now.
But
I'll give you maybe 1.
I'm simply saying they're on schedule.
No, they're ahead of schedule. They're younger than Jordan and Pippen. They were not younger than Bird and McHale.
And you know something? I don't see any signs of them slowing down. They're going to get
better.
Well,
this is the thing. Bird and McHale, if injuries, you don't know what's going to happen. This is the elephant in the room. Now, to be fair, the league is not as physical now as it was then, so it's more likely that they'll be healthier. But
I also think the training to be healthier, meaning joint-wise, is getting better now.
I think the reason they have a chance to really sustain is because the guy calling the shots gets it.
Yeah.
Brad Stevens gets it.
And by the way, I didn't think it at the time, but I certainly do now. Joe Mazzulla is a perfect hire for the coach for that team.
If
Udoka was better.
If he didn't fuck around, they'd have won.
No, I agree. You're right.
I mean, but I'm not saying Mazzulla was a good coach.
You couldn't have got a better situation out of that. People forget that. The year they lost it the first time, they had a coaching change that was a crazy situation here in Boston.
Mazzulla wasn't.
That wasn't a normal hiring. That was like that was serious. That was serious dramatic.
To be fair, Mazzulla was hired 3 weeks before the season started.
That's crazy.
And he was not interviewed because there was no job opening. Like this, all of a sudden we had to do something, and he was there. And Brad knows the guy, and Brad's like, "You're ready to do this," even though Mazzulla wasn't sure if he was ready, but he did it because Stevens knew him. That's another great move by Stevens to his point. And yeah, it took him a year to figure it out. But
they got him some help.
The first year they lost in the East Conference Finals, they almost came back from 3-0 down. They were 3-0 down because the players were fucking up more than the coach, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they could have gone to the finals in their rookie year and beaten Denver. They were good enough to win that title. So they come back year 2. They are monumentally better on defense. Brad Stevens pushes the right buttons, gets better. He sends Marcus Smart away, thank God. He gets rid of the fucking guys.
And I didn't even necessarily think that was the right move.
I thought it was totally right. They were not going to win with him. He was the wrong
leader. I'm not saying that.
What an upgrade.
But I didn't think it was going to be this big of an upgrade.
What an upgrade. Well, then you didn't see Drew Holiday in Milwaukee and what he did for Giannis. And look at Giannis now without him.
It wasn't just that, but it was also the lack of selfishness that Drew Holiday showed.
Drew Holiday is
he was just like Derek White. He took all the right shots at all the right times.
I said this last year during the regular season. I'll say it again. I don't know if you heard it. I said he is this generation's Dennis Johnson.
Yeah,
he is.
That's
DJ.
fair. Yeah.
He is literally what
He's
DJ
probably
was.
better on offense.
Yeah, DJ's a better defensive player.
Yeah, DJ was the best defensive point guard in the league.
DJ guarded Magic and Michael in their prime. Okay, like you want to talk to somebody, God rest his soul.
He also guarded Stockton.
Yeah, Stockton. Everybody. Dennis Johnson, who was a Finals MVP before he got to Boston.
Yes, it was
Seattle Supersonics. I miss the Supersonics. I wish they come back.
They are.
Are they definitely coming back?
I heard they have.
All right, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to tell them if the Seattle Supersonics ever come back, we are going to be honorary fans and we're going to make that trip.
I'll go to Seattle.
I'd love to go to Seattle. That'd be fun.
You know what I want to see, but I was very disappointed in what they did with the uniform. I wanted to go see the Seattle Kraken play.
They do look good. That uniform is nasty.
No, I think it's terrible. They don't even have a logo of the Kraken. It's just an S. It's an S.
No, but there's a head on the end of it,
No, there isn't.
It's not a dragon.
No, there's no picture of a Kraken.
Are you sure?
I thought they could have made the coolest shirt, with 4 arms on the original Kraken.
Are you sure there's nothing?
Yeah, it's light. It's like a crazy light blue and black.
It is with sheer curiosity that I'm looking this up. The Kraken. Seattle Kraken, right?
Yeah, they could have done such a better job.
I like the colors, though.
I love the name.
Seattle, no, Kraken.
Take a look at it. It's not impressive at all. It's with a K.
Images. I know what it starts with, your donkey.
Yeah,
It's got an eye. The eye. See the eye?
I like the eye. We grew up and saw the original Kraken. That is nothing like the original Kraken.
Well, it's like a more retro, that kind of deal.
They could have done a better job.
All right, could they have given him some teeth, maybe?
Something.
Maybe some teeth.
And by the way, you know how cool...
Or you know what? If they put like 2 fangs going down like here, that would look pretty nasty, wouldn't
you
it?
just had...
With the eye?
If you had the 4 arms coming off the S's.
I think... Well, you could do it too, but imagine if they put 2 of those big like saber-tooth teeth going down with the red eye. I think that would look pretty cool.
The guy's head, or just have the guy's head.
I like the eye. I like the eye, but he's right. It's incomplete. It needs more.
It does.
I do like the eye, though. Yeah.
I love the name.
I love the name. Yeah. But anyway, no. If the
Supersonics
ever come back, we are going. Me, him, and Tom on a pilgrimage, and we'll go. And they'll put DJ's bank because he's going to be retired. He won their only championship. He was the MVP of that team, and we will go because Dennis Johnson is still my favorite player of all time. I love him. Him and Bird's my second favorite. And but because I was never going to be 6'9".
You had DJ ahead of him.
Dad turned me on to DJ when he got here. He was like, you're not going to be 6'9", so you might want to watch this guy. And I emulated my game, and he saw me play defense.
Yeah, you played great.
In my heyday, it was all I watched Dennis Johnson. He taught him and the late great. Actually, he's still alive. Satch Sanders at Nelson Sanders camp taught me. I had a one-on-one session with Satch Sanders, who was the first great perimeter defender in NBA history, and he taught me. I swear to God, what's in my head, what he taught me is worth its weight in gold. Because you watch these guys try to play defense, their footwork is right off the bat wrong. It's totally backwards, and everybody teaches it around the country now, and it's wrong. It's dead wrong. A good offensive player knows you attack the front leg.
Yeah.
And if you're a defensive player, what you want to do is you want to have your back leg sliding to his strong hand, so he's got to beat you going the opposite way. These guys do it completely backwards.
You and me are the only ones who play it the other way.
And that's why
I play it the other way, but I don't teach it that way either because I don't expect the kids I coach to be that good at doing it.
I taught my kids to do it, and my team, he remembers my AU team with
man to man. You talk.
We were the best man. We were a bunch of slow white guys, and no one could get by us. And they were just like, because they just positioning, smart, watch the waist, don't go for steals off the ball, the help side. Yeah. I taught them all. Satch Sanders taught me all of that. And when you watch Dennis Johnson play, oh, baby, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, you don't see that in this league anymore.
No.
You really don't see it. That's why when Jaylen Brown did it against what's his name, their donkey, the Pillsbury Doughboy, he didn't know what to do with it because Jaylen Brown and Holiday to Kyrie Irving. People forget what Holiday to Kyrie Irving. Oh my God! I've never seen Kyrie look. I have never seen Kyrie Irving look so ordinary.
I know.
Think about this. A game here or there, maybe, but not for a whole series, not for 5 games. No.
So my prediction early, and you have to admit, I told you not to panic, and I was right.
I predicted them was going to win the title.
No, but last year you were saying...
I was upset with them, but I didn't panic. I never changed my prediction.
Yeah, but I told you every time, either sweep or gentleman sweep. And I did not waver. I said it every time.
All of them should have been sweeps. They gave those games away.
They went 16-3.
I know, but they gave 2 of them. I wanted them to have the greatest postseason record ever. That's what I wanted them to have.
I get it, but I mean, 16-3 is amazing. It's a great playoff.
It's not 17-0, and let's be honest. They could have been 17.
Has anyone ever went undefeated in the playoffs?
16-1 twice. Who? The KD Curry Mavericks, that loaded team, and then Philadelphia 76ers in '83.
What do you mean Curry Mavericks?
I mean the Curry's Golden State,
73.
that loaded the team after when KG joined the next year. Yeah. That team,
the fucking super.
Yeah,
team.
the super team.
Yeah, right.
And the '86 Celtics went 15-2.
Yeah.
But the '83 Sixers.
Yeah, 14. But that was Moses.
Moses, Doc J, Mo Cheeks. The Boston Strangler by Andrew Toney.
Dude, don't forget.
Bobby Jones.
Dr. J had just won the league MVP, and so did Moses Malone. They were like back-to-back league MVPs.
Moses came over from Houston because Boston.
Yeah, but he won 3 MVPs.
Boston beat them in '81. Bird, that was his first. He beat
Bill
Moses,
Fitch.
and he beat them in '81. Moses Malone. No one talks about Moses 3 times. There are eight players in the history of this league that have won 3 MVPs or more. Moses Malone is one of them. And the other 7 you all talk about. By the way, the 8th one was just last year. Nikola Jokic joined that very exclusive club.
Of 3 MVPs.
3 or more. There's only 8 guys in the history of the league that have done this. It's Bird, Magic, Michael, Kareem, Russell, Wilt, LeBron. He's got 4, and now Jokic. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sad part is too. Bird, Jordan definitely could have had a couple more.
Bird should have. Bird finished in the top 3 in voting 9 years in a row. Yeah. He has the most first place votes in the entire decade. Not Magic, not Michael. Bird.
No,
not
I know,
Kareem.
but you and I both know the year that Barkley won it, Jordan should have won it.
Bird should have won it in '88 though, and Jordan.
And also the year that Malone won it.
In 1988, Larry Bird had his best statistical.
Oh, I didn't say Bird didn't get screwed
and they got that was the game.
Didn't they give one to Magic one year that Bird?
That was '87.
No,
that was '87. But Bird was better in '88.
I know.
And the thing is, that was the epic duel with Dominique in Game 7, and then they lost to the Pistons in the finals in 6 games, and the Pistons won the title that year. The thing is, that was
the MVP that year.
Jordan did. Over Bird. Jordan was 1, Bird was 2, Magic was 3. Bird should have won it. Bird had better numbers than Jordan did, and the Celtics went further.
Was that '88 Jordan?
'88 Jordan.
Was that the year though that he won all those awards at once?
Bird was 2nd in the league in scoring. He was 5th in rebounding.
Yeah, but did Jordan win defensive MVP?
No.
Was that the year that he won that too? He had 1 year where he won every fucking award. 1 year.
I don't remember which one it was, but I don't care. Bird was the better player. And then people said that to watch them. And by the way, again, that year, it was the Celtics beat them 4-1 in the regular season.
The Celtics are a better team. They own the Bulls.
Pete, the very next year, when Bird got hurt, that same team went 42-40. DJ, Parrish, McHale were still on that team.
And I'm giving Bird credit for this. They own the Bulls.
But Bird owned the Bulls.
I just said that.
Well, the next year,
6-0.
That's in the playoffs. I'm saying the next year when the Celtics played the Bulls, they got swept 0-4 in the regular season without Bird. They beat him once without him. So it was Bird. Okay. The thing is,
just said
the thing is though, that was DJ Parrish and McHale was still on that roster. That's 3 Hall of Famers. They shouldn't have got swept by the Bulls with those 3. It was '88. They weren't over the hill yet.
They weren't over the hill. They're going against fucking Jordan.
I'm saying DJ Bird. That's still 3 Hall of Famers to
Bird's
run.
There, they beat him.
They beat him. That's what I'm saying because they did. They never lost.
The other guys aren't Bird.
No, that's my point. But that's why Bird in '88 should have won the award because in '89 proved how valuable he was.
I don't remember because it was a long time ago. But I just remember one of those years. There was one year that Jordan won like Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, scoring title.
I think it was 90.
It was one of those years. It was a fucking.
It might have been '88.
It might have been '88. Now, what I'm saying is, if that was the same year, that's the only reason Bird didn't win it because Jordan had a phenomenal fucking year that year.
He was better and they were better.
The team was, yeah. I know they were.
So I'm just saying.
But that might have been Jordan's coming out party year where he had literally was just taking the fucking league by storm.
The Celtics kicked their ass all season.
The Celtics are a better team.
Bird is
talking about the player, just the player.
Bird as a player had a better year. He also averaged 2 steals a game that year. Over 2 steals a game that year. Bird did.
I know, but
he was the top 10 in steals.
The Bulls hadn't won shit yet, and were thought of as trash other than Jordan carrying them.
They've been in the playoffs every year since Jordan got there.
Every year.
They had Orlando Warriors 20-point scorer. They had Cartwright. They had other players. They had Paxton. He wasn't alone.
Actually, we shit on the Bulls.
They had Pippen in '87 and '88, both those years.
Pippen didn't guard Bird. Bird shit on him every time. He killed him. He made him not even want to play.
I know.
It was embarrassing.
Bird, you making my point, Bird?
There was no. You're making it sound like I had a point against it. I didn't.
I'm saying Bird should have won a 4th MVP award, and that year he got robbed. Actually, he got robbed twice. He got robbed in '82. He should have won in '82 also.
82, I believe more than
82. No, he had a better year statistically in '88 than '82.
Just saying. Jordan happened to have a phenomenal year.
Bird had a better one. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, the point is this.
Agree to disagree.
The point is this. Well, fine, whatever. The point is this. The Celtics now. Like they have built around these 2 superstars. They are 11 deep. Did you see the game today against Denver?
Yeah.
Their bench, the Celtic bench, could beat half the teams in this league.
The Celtics may break their win record this year. They may.
I think, and again, we talked about this
because
before.
The league is weaker.
The letdown factor ain't going to happen. All he did was piss them off. Thank you, Steve Kerr.
They're pissed. They added talent. And I think they're and I don't know if the Knicks got better. They got rid of Randall. They added
Karl Anthony Towns.
I like Cat, but I don't think Randall is a better player.
Randall, I think, is a better player.
So you didn't get better. If anything, you swapped.
Well, remember now, this is the guy who he was the biggest reason that the Minnesota Timberwolves beat Denver because he outplayed Jokic.
I know that.
He did. That's a fact.
But curiously, they got their asses kicked by Dallas, who we beat in a gentleman's sweep.
I know. I think they were better than the Celtics. I'm just saying that he is a good player.
Yeah, he is.
And I think the Knicks don't have. See, the thing is, they've got other wing players that can do things. They needed a guy who could post up because Randall's more of a wing guy. He's not a post player.
Oh, but
this kid can do both. He fits there.
The Knicks, even with Karl Anthony Towns and the guys they've added, aren't at the Celtics level yet.
The mistake, they're not. They're the second best team in the East right now. It's Boston and
but it's a big gap.
It's not a big gap.
You think the Knicks are close to beating the Celtics?
No, I said they're closer than you think, but I still think Boston is better. If they play tomorrow, Boston beats them in 6.
I think it's 5 still.
It's 6.
I don't know.
Because you know why? Because the Knicks play defense, and the head coach Thibodeau was the architect of the 08 Celtic defense.
Yeah, but I think the Celtics might be that much better this year.
Well,
it depends. They're going to be healthy.
They're going to be healthy, number one, but I'm saying the Knicks weren't healthy last year.
I know.
And they got to the semifinals. They lost every. Do you realize they were missing 4 of their top 7 players?
I know. The team that beat them.
I'm just saying.
We swept.
They added a legit 2010 guy from the block. They don't have a guy like that. Okay.
They did.
They added the kid from. Who was the kid from?
What was Julius Randle? He was in 2010.
He was 25 and 8 or something. He was a
he's
wing,
better.
but he's a wing. He's not a post
No,
player.
but he's not a wing.
He doesn't.
He's a block.
He doesn't defend.
Julius Randle?
No, he's not a good defensive player. That's the problem. This kid blocks shots.
Oh, no, I know
the
the different players.
Julius Randle does none of that.
But he's a way better offense player.
And no, this kid scores 20.
We'll see how it works out.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's as tough as Randle. I think the difference is mentally. See,
I don't think Carl Anthony Towns is a gamer.
Well, they got to the conference finals and he outplayed Jokic, so it's kind of hard to argue with that. But the thing is this. My question is, why would Minnesota give up on this guy unless there wasn't something wrong between these? Because they're knocking on the doorstep. So if I'm the Knicks, that is my one question.
You know why?
I want to see how. Now, here's the thing.
Minnesota is going to be way better.
I will say this. I think the Knicks locker room chemistry is way better than the Minnesota one. Minnesota's got too many egos. They do.
You don't think Minnesota just got help, though, by switching and getting Randall in there instead of Cat?
Nope. I think they've got ego problems.
Yeah, but
starting with Anthony Edwards.
Isn't that why they moved Cat?
Anthony Edwards talks too much.
He's an idiot. Good.
Well, that's a problem. The Knicks have a very good synergy, chemistry-like locker room.
They have a good coach,
and they have a good coach who won't put up with no shit. I think this could be very good for him. Because here's the tendency: when you come into a team that has a locker room like the Knicks have, and the Celtics have a locker room like this too, they're all likable.
Yeah.
You don't upset the apple cart, especially when they're a contender. The Knicks are a contender, and everybody knows it. You go in there, and Tibbs has got rings on his fingers as a coach. He's got the resume, so you don't want to upset that apple cart.
It's a cute little fruit cart. Celtics in 5. They're not there yet.
I think if they're both healthy, Celtics in 6. They're still better, but the Knicks.
One game semantics.
The Knicks are competitive. They would give them a run. They wouldn't beat them. They'd give them a run.
I don't know if they even give
6 games. The Celtics are better.
Celtics beat everybody in 5 or a sweep.
And all those teams were also injured.
They're gonna be injured again this year. It happens.
We'll see. But if the Knicks are,
we were injured. We were missing Porzingis.
I just said if both teams are healthy,
we're gonna sweep them.
Boston in 6.
If both teams are healthy,
the Knicks play that good a defense. They are the second best defensive team in this league to Boston. They really are.
If they're both
you know who Giannobi is?
Wait, hold up. If they're both healthy, let's say they're both healthy. That means Porzingis is playing. So if Porzingis is playing, how much better are the Celtics with him?
I got news for you. The Knicks are better equipped to deal with them now because he's a way better big man center that can pull him away from the basket. They didn't have a center like that.
I know, but I don't even think Cat can go out with him. He's not going to chase him out around the 3.
He has to chase Cat too. Cat has 3-point range.
Let him. He can stay with Cat. Cat's not that fast.
Do you know what Cat statistically is as a 3-point shooter? He's one of the best shooting big men ever. He really is.
I know, but I'm just
I'm saying
if they're using Carl Anthony Towns to try to beat us in the 3-point line, it's good.
They match up better with the Celtics than they did a year ago because they added a guy who can pull Porzingis away from the basket.
But the
Celtics still beat them.
Yeah, but you and me both.
But it's 6.
Oh, I know, but you and me both know being basketball players. Taking a guy that size and dragging him out for a 3-point line is the definition of stupidity. It just is. I don't care what stupid sabermetric crap you want to go with. Pulling a 7-foot guy as good as he is underneath the basket away from the basket is genius when you're playing against him.
No, the reason he would do is he's not big enough to post up Porzingis. Remember, Porzingis is 7'3".
Yeah, but he's bigger. He can bully that guy.
He's not that much bigger. Look at Cat again. He's not that much bigger. He's 6'11", but he's not that much. He's not bigger.
I would look at it this way. if I'm Cat, I'd rather have playing against the post against that guy.
Yeah, you know why you take him outside? Because you got to step on him. You're a step quicker. That's why you don't post him up.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't see Cat getting all the way from the 3-point line.
Boston beats them in 6, whereas before I think they would have swept them. I think he makes them the matchup. I'll tell you why. Because you know what, Julius Randle ain't guarding Jason Tatum on any planet on earth.
I don't think any of those guys
and he's the closest thing they had to a big. The Celtics would kill them. And I'm saying Porzingis would think about last year. The Knicks didn't have the Celtics would kill them in that.
I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say the Celtics are going to be a game better next year than they were this year, record-wise overall. They're going to be a game better.
I don't know if that's.
And that's saying something. That's a great record.
If Jaylen Brown improves his foul shooting, they'll be 5 games better.
And Jaylen Brown has improved everything else, so it won't surprise me if he does. He looks good.
He's technically a 2-guard who shoots worse than most centers from the free throw line. That's terrible.
He has, but at the same time, you're right, though. It's deceiving, though, because isn't he technically like a 72% shooter?
He was a 70% foul. He barely made 70 last year. He's a 2-guard.
I know, that's not good.
That's not good.
He used to be higher, right?
He's never. No, he was going into last year. He was a career 76% shooter, and then he shot 70.
That's my point. He's been 76. He's been better. He's getting worse.
If you're a 2 guard in the NBA,
you should be shooting 85%.
You're 80% or better. At worst, you're 81%. You're not 70.
I don't think you should be at all.
You're not 70. You're 81. If everything goes wrong, you're 81%. And you're a 2 guard. That means you're a shooting guard. That's what you do.
No, I know.
Okay,
I agree.
So that's the one thing he's got. It's my one criticism. If he fixes that, they win 5 more games. His free throw shooting cost him 5 games.
What I saw from the Celtics this year, and I'm not trying to be pom-pom waving or whatnot. It's just
you can't help it.
I've been watching this team, and so have you. We've both been watching it together over the years. When they've lost, when they've been inexperienced, when they haven't had enough on the team on the bench to go with the team, they finally got it right last year, where they got all the right pieces, the stars aligned, and then they added depth this year in the draft.
They got a point guard who, when the game got tight, didn't think to himself, I need to start jacking 35-foot threes, and I'm not the number 3 option on the roster.
Exactly.
They got a big man who can shoot threes from 27 feet away.
And loves to play pick and pop
and
ball.
plays pick and pop, and he actually will post up. He has a mid-range game. And he protects the rim on the other end. He does everything they needed. And those 2 pieces made them a potential dynasty.
And also,
if they can stay healthy.
You still have a very athletic and very, when I say healthy, given his age, Al Horford.
Well, Al Horford is
coming around another year.
Al Horford is the quintessential 6th man right now.
He is. And let's face it, when we need him to start, he's good enough to. Yeah. He is.
He is Kevin McHale.
Look at this way. You saw when
he's Kevin McHale. Remember Kevin McHale was the 6th man of the Celtics?
It was just 2 years ago when he dunked on Giannis, the best player in the league at the time. Oh, it was brutal, but it was nice.
But again, you look what happened to the Bucks when they lost him. They brought in Damian Lillard.
I know.
But look what happened. They went because Lillard's a one-trick pony.
Bad coaching decisions.
Leonard is a one-trick pony. He's just a chuckler.
They also don't look at chemistry. They don't look at chemistry.
Nope.
I mean, you got to look at what makes it.
Jrue Holiday made himself a first ballot Hall of Famer last year.
Who did?
Jrue Holiday.
Oh yeah.
He's now a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, he definitely.
He's got 2 gold medals, 2 world championships. He's all defensive team.
Look this way. If he wasn't already, he's a lock now. He's a lock.
He's a lock. He made himself a Hall of Famer last year.
Look at this way. He's probably going to get another ring before he's done.
They could get 2 more.
He could.
They could three-peat. They could three-peat. And again, this is going to come down to who Stevens drafted, the kid from Gonzaga and the kid from Creighton.
Look at this way. They could have a Golden State-esque type run.
They can. They could have a Chicago Bull run. They could have a Chicago Bull type run.
They could.
Brown is 28, Tatum is 27.
And they're friends, and they're just starting to play even better together.
And they both just got $300 million.
300 reasons to stay together.
Each. They're not splitting it. They're getting each. So anyway, that's going to do it for segment 1. We're going to come back. Segment 2, we're going to talk football. The Dallas Cowboys are in the house. I want his State of the Cowboys address. We can talk to him. And should the Cowboys go after Devontae Adams? And if not, then who should they add? They are sitting at 2-2 right now. We'll talk about that. State of the Patriots. We're not going to pick games tonight. That'll be tomorrow night, but that'll be segment 2. Coming right up. It's Joe Boo. It's Yoda. It's the Shameless one in the hizzy. Good to have him back. Missed him. We'll see you guys on the other side.